The diary slipped out from between two cardboard boxes in the attic, its leather cover smoothed by years of secrets and restless hands. I recognized the handwriting instantly. My mother's graceful loops and swirls, the same ones that adorned my childhood birthday cards, scribbled notes in my lunchbox, and traced my growth on the kitchen wall. She'd been gone for 17 years, a ghost in my memory. My name's Elena, and at 31, I was finally tackling the attic of my childhood home. My dad, now living in Florida with his second wife Marissa, had left me to sort through the past and prep the house for sale. But what I uncovered that day would unravel everything I thought I knew about my mother's death. Something's off, she'd written in an entry dated 3 months before she passed. I saw Marissa with Daniel at the cafe today. They didn't see me. She slid him papers under the table, documents with our family letterhead. My hands shook as I sat surrounded by dusty boxes, the attic's stale air pressing in. Marissa had waltzed into our lives 6 months before Mom died, introduced by Daniel, our family lawyer of 2 decades, as Dad's legal advisor for his manufacturing business. The diary's tone sharpened with each page. Daniel's been nagging Michael to update the estate plan. Modernizing, he calls it. But why now? And why does he clam up when I'm around? I'd been told a different story back then. That Mom had lost her grip near the end, her heart condition and meds spinning wild conspiracies in her head. Marissa's not who she pretends to be, she'd scribbled. I've seen her mask slip when Michael's not looking, those cold, calculating eyes sizing up the house, suggesting updates to wipe me out of it. A creak from the attic stairs jolted me, but it was just the old house groaning. Marissa never set foot up here, claimed the dust made her sneeze. The final entries were chaotic, her elegant script turning jagged. Found proof today, files in Daniel's office. He's been scheming with Marissa for months before she met Michael. They're up to something. I'm confronting Daniel tomorrow, have to tell Michael, show him the evidence. The next day she was gone. Heart failure, they said. Natural causes. I snapped the diary shut, my mind reeling. For years I'd brushed off my unease around Marissa as stepfamily baggage. She'd wormed her way into Dad's life, nudging him away from old friends, pushing asset transfers under the guise of tax benefits. My phone buzzed, Marissa texting, "Sweetie, how's the attic going? Don't bother with old papers, just toss them." I stared at the diary, then at Mom's last words. Must protect Elena's inheritance. Must stop them. That night I devoured every entry, piecing together her growing dread. She tracked Marissa and Daniel's secret meetings, overheard cryptic calls, glimpsed papers on Daniel's desk. Marissa's story doesn't hold water, one entry read. Says she's from Portland, but she dodges details. Claims a law degree from UCLA, yet sidesteps when I mention profs I know there. Mom had dug deeper, quietly collecting clues, holes in Marissa's past no one else questioned. Even then, Marissa played the flawless consultant, the widow bonding with Dad over shared grief. Disturbing find today, Mom wrote 2 weeks before her death. Marissa's late husband? Not dead. Alive in Nevada with his real wife. Who is this woman? My trembling hands fired up my laptop. Property records confirmed it. Thomas Reed, Marissa's deceased spouse, still kicking with his wife of 35 years. No divorce. Marissa's whole life was a lie. Another entry hit hard. Daniel's rushing Michael to sign new trust docs. Modernizing again. But the papers I saw, they shift company control. Legal jargon about successors and beneficiaries. Those same terms popped up in papers Dad signed last year. Ones Marissa swore were routine, pressuring me to sign too, with Daniel's fast-talking spiel about taxes and liability. My phone buzzed again. Marissa, found any old family pics? I'd love to see them. Maybe I'll come help tomorrow. That perfect smile of hers flashed in my mind, the one she'd used to play the doting stepmom while tightening her grip on everything: Dad, the company, our lives. I needed help, someone to decode the legal mess Mom hinted at, someone beyond Daniel's reach. Scrolling my contacts, I landed on Rachel Kim, a law school pal who'd carved a niche in estate disputes. We met at a diner miles from my usual spots, safe from Marissa's spies. I brought the diary and every document I could grab. This is wild, Rachel said, scanning the papers. These aren't updates, they rewrite ownership. This clause, it hands Marissa veto power over business moves once your dad hits 65. He turns 65 next month, I whispered, my coffee untouched. And this succession bit? It prioritizes any kids she has over you for inheritance. Kids? I echoed. Rachel's eyes narrowed. She's dropping hints about IVF, saying Dad's not too old for more. Of course, Rachel muttered. A kid locks her in company, properties, trust, all hers. You be cut out. I slid the diary over. Mom saw it coming. She was going to confront Daniel the day she died. Rachel's head snapped up. The day she died? Autopsy. Heart failure, I said. She had a condition. They blame stress from her paranoia. Paranoia that's looking damn justified. Rachel shot back, jotting notes. We move slow and smart. These two have pulled a slick long-haul scam. If Mom was about to blow it up. She didn't finish. She didn't need to. My phone buzzed, Marissa. Noticed you took some papers from the attic. Anything juicy? I'd love to see. She's twitchy. Rachel observed. Good. Let her sweat. But watch your back, people this cunning get nasty when cornered. I thought of Mom's last entry, her resolve to shield me. 17 years late. I was taking up her fight. Over 2 weeks, Rachel's digging peeled back Marissa's layers. Real name Marissa Hale. She'd run this con twice before, slipping into rich families, twisting estate plans, then vanishing with the haul. 3 identities, 3 widowers, 3 gutted trusts, Rachel said, fanning out files. Different lawyers each time, same playbook. Photos showed Marissa blonde. Brunette redhead, but always that predatory smirk. Daniel's no saint either, disbarred twice for shady ethics, reinvented himself here. He scouts vulnerable families. Hooks them up with grifters like her. Marissa's texts grew pushy. Let's grab lunch, hon. Worried about you in that dusty attic. Don't dwell on the past. She knows the diary's gone, Rachel said. Told your dad yet? I shook my head. Marissa had boxed him in new cities, faded friendships. Now in Florida, he was her puppet. We need airtight proof first, Rachel advised. That proof dropped like a bomb. Rachel's PI tracked down Marissa's last mark, James Carter, a retired CEO she'd fleeced as Marissa Wells. She played the widow card, he said over Zoom. By the time I caught on, she bolted with millions. Her lawyer? Sounds like your Daniel. Mom's final entry burned in my mind, her desperate bid to save us. Now I had what she died chasing. I set the trap carefully, per Rachel's plan. A public showdown at the same cafe where Mom had spied Marissa and Daniel, wired up with FBI nearby. You look tense, sweetie, Marissa cooed. Sliding into her seat with that polished charm. All that attic time, it's not healthy. Found something up there, I said, pushing the diary across. Mom's last journal. You remember her, right? Or should I say Marissa Hale does? Her mask flickered, warmth gone, eyes icy. I don't know what you're on about, she said, glaring at the diary. These delusions of yours sad. Just like your per mom. Like my mom who caught you scheming with Daniel? Who was about to expose you the day she died. My voice held firm despite my pounding heart. We found James Carter. By the way. And the Thompsons, your old marks. Her grip tightened on her mug. Absurd lies. Your dad won't like you spreading this nonsense. He'll hate learning his wife's still married to Thomas Reed, I fired back. His real wife was thrilled to hear about you. Fear cracked her facade. Whatever you think I know, I cut in. The fake IDs, the scams, Daniel's disbarment. Only thing I don't know? What you did to Mom. She shot up, chair screeching. I'm not listening to this, you need help, just like she did. Sit. I said low. Unless you want to chat with the FBI at the next table. Interstate fraud's a federal rap, isn't it? She sank down, her polish peeling away. What do you want? She hissed. The truth. Starting with Mom. Her face twisted, ugly raw. Your mother was going to ruin it all, she spat. She had proof, files tying me to Daniel, my real name. She was showing your dad that morning. My nails dug into the table. What did you do? We didn't mean to kill her, she whispered, eyes darting. Daniel slipped her something to muddle her at the meeting, make her look unhinged. Her heart, we didn't know it, the FBI closed in, badges out. Marissa Hale, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit fraud and involvement in Lillian Carter's death. Her face drained as they cuffed her. Rachel squeezed my shoulder. Daniel snapped too, grabbed him at his office. My phone lit up, Dad. The FBI had just briefed him in Florida. Elena, he croaked. Is it true? Yeah, Dad. Mom's diary, she was protecting us. She knew. A long silence. I should have listened to her. I'm so sorry. Tears hit me then, not rage but release. Mom's fight was done. She'd saved me through her words. The evidence, Mom's notes, Rachel's finds, was a slam dunk. Marissa and Daniel had conned others, but Mom's death was their first blood. Maybe accidental. But they'd pay. Leaving the cafe, I felt lighter, the weight of lies lifting. Mom's diary, her last gift, didn't just expose Marissa, it gave me back her truth, her love. Weeks later, the house morphed from a burden to a haven. I lingered in Mom's old reading nook, soaking in her diary. Not for clues now, but for her voice. Dad ditched Florida, crashing nearby as we untangled the legal mess. Marissa had siphoned cash to secret accounts, her exit plan in motion. Without Mom's diary, she'd have won. I keep replaying her last days. Dad said one night in her garden, now blooming again. They made me think she'd lost it. I'll never forgive myself. I squeezed his hand. Marissa's con was pro-level. Even Rachel said she'd never seen such a slick operator. The FBI dug up 5 victims, not 3 Marissa's perfected grift-targeting widowers. But Mom saw the wolf in the fold. The medical review confirmed it. A drug spiked her heart meds, fatal in combo. Not murder then, but manslaughter now. Work became my fuel, architecture and the company, purging Marissa's rot. Colleagues noticed. You're bolder, my assistant said. She was right. Mom's spine lived in me. The estate mess unraveled, Marissa's updates were illegal, banking on no one checking. Dad signed it all to me. It's what your mom wanted, he said. Justice, not cash, drove me for us. For every family she'd burned. At sentencing, I faced Marissa in prison beige. You stole 17 years of truth, I told her steady. I doubted Mom while she saw you plain as day. Daniel wouldn't look up, his career torched. Other victims spoke, same betrayal, same playbook. Dad started therapy, piecing together how he'd been duped. The company healed too. I split time between it and design, channeling Mom's grit. The house? I'm keeping it. Stripped Marissa's bland beige, found Mom's carved heart under the sill. Our initials. Her quiet defiance. She'd love you staying, Dad said. She would. The manslaughter trial looms, but I'm ready, Mom's diary my armor. 6 months post-sentencing, I'm me again, stronger. Nightmares faded. I dream of Mom in her garden, proud. The company thrives, Dad sparks back. And Rachel and I launched a foundation in Mom's name. Fighting estate fraud. Helping victims like James Carter. Her diary's my talisman, her courage my blood. The house hums with her colors now, home again. Last week, I found her final note in a book. My dearest Elena. Trust your gut. I raised you to see truth through the smoke. She fought alone, dismissed, but never quit. Next month's trial will bury Marissa and Daniel for good. In her garden, Dad said. Her gift wasn't just exposing them, it was showing you your strength. He's right. Her words armed me to finish her war. Watching her flowers bloom. I know some legacies can't be stolen, they just grow fiercer with time.